Hello again everyone, I'm Daniel the Cross-Cultural Nerd, here with our second Black History Month video. Last time, we talked about the major black characters in J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, with the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts books and films. This time we are going to delve into Blizzard's hero shooter, Overwatch. Overwatch has one of the most diverse casts in all of gaming. The playable characters include various white people, Latin Americans, black people, East Asians, Arabs, and Indian, and even someone with Native American heritage. Not to mention the robots and the sentient animals. Despite the varied cast, though, it only has 2 playable black characters so far. Because of this, we're going to focus on those 2 and a couple of other figures in the lore who are not playable. So, without further ado, here we go. Our 2 playable characters are like night and day, a great hero and a heinous villain. On the good side of the moral scale is Lucio Correa dos Santos, known mostly as Lucio. Born in Rio de Janeiro, he was raised in a favela that was heavily affected economically in the aftermath of the Omnic Crisis. In hopes of encouraging his community during those times, he turned to music, and he grew in prominence as he matured. Eventually, the Vishkar Corporation, based in India, came to Rio promising better lives through urban development, but instead only brought exploitation of the populace and excessive control in the name of order. Fed up with what was being done to his home, Lucio took matters into his own hands, stealing a sonic amplifier from Vishkar and converting it into a weapon against them and a tool to rally his people to rise up and drive Vishkar out of Rio. He was viewed as a hero. His popularity quickly spread around the world and people began flocking to arenas to see him perform. In-game, Lucio is a support character. He uses his sonic amplifier to shoot at enemies or knock them back, heal and speed up his allies, and shield his allies from damage. He is also extremely mobile, and uses his speed boost and wall riding to get places that few others can reach and avoid taking hits. The villain of our playable characters is Akande Ogundimu, more widely known as Doomfist. Akande was born the heir of a prominent Nigerian company dealing in prosthetics. His intelligence and charisma gave him a good business acumen. Outside of business, his love was competitive martial arts, and he trained in both domestic and international styles and won acclaim all over Africa. However, something happened after the Omnic Crisis, and he lost his right arm. Thankfully, he had easy access to help from his business, and his new prosthetics made him even stronger. But he soon found that joy again when Akinjide Adeyemi, himself known at the time as the Second Doomfist, offered him a position as a mercenary raiding the affluent city of Numbani. Akande was brought into the Talon organization and found common cause in their goals of strengthening humanity through conflict. However, his mentor's goals weren't high enough for him or for Talon, and Akande killed Akinjide and took his title as the Third Doomfist. Doomfist's acumen served him well as he negotiated Talon's power struggles and rose through the ranks, bringing Talon into greater world prominence. Overwatch defeated him in a combat that saw him take down Tracer and Genji single-handedly before being subdued by Winston. After some years in a maximum security prison, he literally punched his way out with Reaper's help, stole his gauntlet from Numbani, destroying their OR-15 defense bots in the process, and returned to Talon's inner council, killing the leader who conflicted with his ideals. Doomfist is a damage hero in-game with high mobility, using his massive gauntlet to launch himself around and pummel enemies into oblivion. Up next is a character who is not playable in-game, but still important in some of the lore, Ife Oladele. Ife is an 11-year-old robotics prodigy from Numbani who received the Adawe Foundation's Genius Grant for her accomplishments. Her hope was to build a robotic defense mechanism to protect the people in her city. When Doomfist stole his gauntlet back from Numbani, he obliterated the city's new OR-15 defense robots at their airport. Ife witnessed the attack in person, saw her chance to help, and bought a chassis from one of the robots from the government. After working for some time upgrading the weapons and adding a personality core, she built Orisa, the third hero added to the game after release. Ever since the two have worked together to protect Numbani, with Orisa additionally working as Ife's guardian, and Ife teaching Orisa and making modifications as necessary. And with all this talk about Numbani, it's necessary to go into more detail about it. Numbani was built sometime soon after the Omnic crisis somewhere in the savannas of Nigeria. I'm not sure if it's under Nigerian authority in-universe or if it is its own city-state under its own authority, but it does have its own flag. From its foundation, Numbani was meant to be one of the few places in the world where Omnics and humans could live as equals, as opposed to most other cities where Omnics were looked down upon at best and openly attacked and vilified at worst. To reflect this, citizens celebrate Unity Day on the anniversary of its founding, and the city is nicknamed the City of Harmony. In a short time, Numbani used this human-omnic collaboration to become one of the most affluent and technologically advanced cities on the planet. Doomfist's gauntlet was stored at the Numbani Heritage Museum before Doomfist stole it back in transit, and Talon had repeatedly targeted the city in the past for raids due to its affluence and tech. In-game, Numbani is a map for the hybrid mode, in which attacking players must capture a point and then escort a payload to the end of the map. For my part, it's really refreshing to see that in the face of all the stereotypes about Nigeria and Nigerian people's worries about their politics, in this game, in Overwatch, we have an idealistic vision of a place in Nigeria taking all these stereotypes and all these worries and turning them on their head and becoming a world leader of tech, business, and quality of life. And with that, we have the most prominent black characters in the Overwatch universe, as well as a prominent relevant locale featured in-game. Can you think of other characters that I missed? Or do you have any other comments or questions about this video, this channel, or me? Leave a comment below. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Facebook at The Cross Cultural Nerd and on Twitter at XCulturalNerd. I'm Daniel, the Cross Cultural Nerd. Stay tuned for the next video in which I discuss several real-life black figures in various nerd fandoms. Have a great day, happy Black History Month, and I will see you again later. Bye-bye.
Choices? What do you know about choices? 30 million orphaned children. I was one of them. The Omnic War robbed us of our choices. To survive, you did what you had to do. Steal or starve, kill or be killed. You helped your friends and hurt anyone who got in your way. If you hungered to rise above your circumstances, then when someone offered you a hand up, even the devil, you took it. It wasn't complicated. At least that was the lie I told myself. The truth is, I had choices, and I made them. But when you think you're a big man, it's hard to admit that you are not a brave one. Even harder when you understand that making a living is not enough. You must make a difference. I'm going to fight for a better world. For some, that means a bandage. For others, a bullet. Today, I give you the choice.